Hello, and welcome to another episode of Thrive Like a Parent podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about how to go from fight, flight, freeze, all of those things into more of a rest and digest and restore, right? So often, I am helping you become aware of certain feelings, helping you become aware of how you function and how your behaviors are really the language of your brain. And I'm going to use a very simple, if you've listened to my podcast before, I've talked about the smoke detector of fight, flight, freeze, right? You're sniffing out smoke and your brain is really sniffing out any threats. And when you do feel a threat, right, or a challenge, your brain reacts and those behaviors are therefore reacting to what the language is that's coming at you, right? Now, there is such thing that I've not done a lot of diving into, and I will start doing that a lot more. But this is a journey, and taking you on a journey of understanding your brain, I felt needed to go very, very slow, especially for the layman who need to learn this relatively as simple as possible, if you will. And that's the vagus nerve and the polyvagal theory and how all of that connects to your nervous system. It is a huge, huge portion of it. And when people are like, "What book are you reading?" And I'm like, "Stuff on the vagus nerve." They're like, "What the fuck is that?" Right? So I take my time and I go slow with educating and teaching you guys about all these different things. The most important thing to understand is the vagus system, the vagus nerve, the polyvagal theory, all the different things, right? Is basically like a street light, red, green, yellow. Okay. When you're on green, you're flying high. You are in your creative brain. You are functioning at your best. You're socializing. You're going at it. You're doing all the different things. You're loving life. Yeah. That yellow is like that freeze mode. That's like something's going on. And then when you are in dorsal vagal, like you're just shut down, that is the red zone. That's like bleh, like you're done. You're completely dysregulated. You're snapping. You're thising. You're thatting. Now, the important thing is how do I go from one state to another? I got to tell you, I often do a lot of research and development on what others are saying and what others are like what information they're spitting out to all of you. I can't tell you how frustrated it makes me when I see a post that says regulate your nervous system in 5 minutes. Bullshit. Like that should be the biggest red flag of your life. You cannot regulate your nervous system in 5 minutes. Like you can't. Do I wish you could? You bet. Would I've had a lot easier few past years? Fuck yeah, I would have had a lot easier time moving through grief and trauma. Like, yeah. But anytime someone says 3 minutes to no, just be like, next. And that's why a lot of times you may even think that my content, it might even be vague, or you might be like, no, give us the tools. Like, what's the secret sauce? The secret sauce is that it takes time. It takes time. Let me give you an example. I can absolutely tell that my nervous system is heightened during the school year as opposed to summer, just a different schedule, a lot more demands during the school year, sports, all like I've added on a lot too this year with sports and all the different things because I'm stronger and have more capacity and doing a lot better in terms of my grief journey. But like work is ramping up, like all the different things. It's just a different vibe. And I was telling my partner this week and I was like, I'm heightened. Like, I just need you to know that I'm definitely heightened. And he was like, huh. Like I was like, I'm snapping more at the kids. Like I don't have a really great patience tolerance. I even recognized that I was craving and longing and wanting to chew gum. I hands down during my regulation journey, I like at one point during my journey, I kept a pack of gum here on my desk and it would help me into regulating my nervous system of just like that anxious feeling. That's how I know I'm heightened right now. I haven't gotten a lot of sleep in the past few weeks, which is not good for Brookie over here. And as much as I need, let's say. Some of you might be like, that's a lot of sleep, but not what Dr. B needs over here. Okay. But I know that I'm there. And if I could fix that, if I could switch that off in 3 minutes or 5 minutes, I'd be a bazillionaire because then I'd teach you how to do it. It's not doable. It's not possible. But what can happen is taking step by step by step by step. Now, the biggest piece of advice I'm going to give you, and you're going to absolutely be pissed off and hate me for this, but the way in which you get to more of that red zone, right? That, like red light, hello. That is when there is like more of a perceived challenge. The more challenge you have in the light in your life, the greater the possibility of you getting into the red zone is. Okay. Let's say you're a working parent. You are a high performance working parent. You are a parent, so you have kids. You also have responsibilities at home and things on the weekend. There's little to no time for yourself. Let's say you're wanting to build a business on your own. If you're on your own and there's a high challenge rate, it's going to be impossible rather than seeking the help of others and gaining support. I urge you, if you are longing to regulate your nervous system and learn how to regulate your nervous system, you gain support. Does it have to be with me and my team? No, of course it doesn't. But there is strength in numbers. If I had done all this on my own, if I had taken care of the kids on my own, if I had built this business on my own, if I had moved through my grief on my own, I have no idea where I'd be. None. I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't. All those things that I just listed off, I gained support for. I gained support for my grief. I gained support for my mental health and my own regulation. Even though I know what I know, I still gained support to continue either learning more or practice what I preach. I gained support for my children. I gained support for my business. I made sure I had things in place. In order to go from red light to green light, you need to be able to finally recognize that this is not something you should or want to do alone. If you are tired of being exhausted, if you are tired of being lonely, if you are tired of snapping at your kids, if you're tired of feeling like it's an uphill battle, if you are tired of only getting a dopamine hit, only getting that dopamine hit when you buy something for yourself and there's no other joy in life, when you feel like your partnership is stale or you want to rip their heads off, that means ding, 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 ding. It's time for support because we aren't meant to do this alone, but you and your brain, it's going to take a lot longer if you're like, okay, I'm going to take this on by myself. Now, the big important thing to understand is that we all, as a society, every single one of us has been in the red. You could be listening to this right now and you could be like, I'm flying high. Like I'm not working. I have a really great balance with taking care of the kids and like whatever it is for you. Like you could be like thinking that you're flying high. I have to tell you, you have felt red before. And it sucks that it happened, but it's also really cool that I can now say you have felt what it is like to have a shutdown, and that is COVID. During COVID, we all shut down. We all had challenges. We all had fears. We all needed to do it in an isolated capacity. We all needed to figure out our childcare and our schooling and our work and right? Like we all needed to figure out how to do that. But very slowly, we climbed up the ladder. Now, did that happen overnight to where you were like, ding, 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 I'm back on green? I have people coming to me every single day saying, ever since COVID, that's a response. It's just ever since COVID, it just like, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And that's where the mental health portion comes in. The mental health portion comes in of, I've been doing this by myself. I was trained to do this by myself. My brain believed I could do this by myself because we were asked to do this by ourselves. If you have an avoidant personality, okay, hands down, you are going to have to push yourself to finally say, okay, I can open up to someone. I can rip the Band-Aid off and share how I really feel. I can gain some support and figure out how this feels to regulate my nervous system and to get into the green. The sucky part, I know I'm just giving out all the awesome news today, but the sucky part about this is that finding that happiness won't ever be what you truly thought it would be. It won't be finally getting the yacht. It won't finally be, making a bazillion a year and like having this quote perfect life. If you finally find that green zone and you're able to stay in that green zone, what it'll look like is a lot more simplistic, happy, peaceful life, and not really craving or wanting a lot out of that life. Just being happy with what you have, happy with where you're at. And instead of rushing all the way through your life down to where you end up dying, right? Like you'll finally be like, this is enough for today. I don't care if I have the Mercedes. I don't care if I, have the largest house on the block. I don't care if my furniture is updated. Like, who cares? But we're rushing towards something, and all those pushing, all those challenges, all those things, you're pushing. That is perpetuating that red zone. And I cannot tell you how many people are stuck in that red zone. Stuck, like completely stuck, and have no earthly idea how to get out of it. None. There is someone that I know who, lovely human being. And there is so many examples of this. Like there's like, this is a dime a dozen as an example, but she stays at home, takes care of the kids. He is busting his ass. She rarely, like barely ever sees her husband because he's either traveling or he's managing the office. He makes enough so that her kids and their kids can do any and everything that they want to do. And, private school and like all the sports, and she's running around going crazy on jumping from task to place for the kids. Look, I am not knocking this example and this human, because like I said, there's many different other people out there like this. I'm not knocking it. But if that resembled your life at all, and you're like, yep, that is us. Ask yourself if you're happy. I'm not telling you to completely radically change your life and all the different things. But if you're living in the red, the problem with living in the red and pushing and going and doing and that husband who is constantly working to be able to keep up, there's zero mental health there. I got to tell you, like zero pause breaks for him, and there's zero breaks for her because she's pushing pounding the pavement. And you may be doing that and still working, a 2-income household. You may be single and doing that all on your own. But if there's no ability to recognize I'm fighting to stay alive and I'm in the red zone, I'm fighting to keep up and give this life to my children or do whatever it is that you're needing to do, but recognizing that your mental health is completely down the tube and you're literally in the red, your brain is offline, you're shut down, you're not really able to make decisions, you're making decisions from a place of fear, and your brain needs help and support, because staying in that is terrible for a few reasons. Number one, you're patterning your brain that is the safe routine. So then when you do finally slow down, it's going to feel completely lazy and super scary. Number two, there is zero mental health within those types of brains. Zero, because it's just like you're running on all cylinders. Even cars break down, like even, I don't know, really long assembly lines in factories, like that breaks down. Like we're thinking that we just need to continue to go. And there is zero mental health in that space. And I do believe that we had that complete and utter shutdown, and we all felt what that felt like during COVID. And so what are the ways in which you get from red to green? You first become aware of, am I happy? Do I enjoy this life? Is this something that I can continue on? And if I can continue on like this, how many years can I continue on? You may not have a choice. You may be like, well, damn it, Brooke, like you're telling me I'm in red, but like if I don't keep going, the lights will turn off. I fully hear you. I am one and only responsible for everything in my own life as well as my children's. Fully hear that. Fully hear that. But I made a pact to myself that every single year I would gain more and more support. I would slow down. I would be able to take the time I needed for me. And I have found that in every single year of this, every single year that I've built this business, that I've moved through grief. Was it as much as I wanted? Yeah, it actually really was, because I found ways to do it. I scheduled it in for myself. During the course Thrive, I have homework for our clients, and there's only one homework that I request that they do. All the others, you get to decide, because I've built a program where you literally get to live your life. And why have I built a program that you get to live your life rather than journaling and meditating and all the bullshit things? Because I don't know if that's going to work for you long term. I don't know if you're going to journal after we stop our course. I don't know if you're going to breath work it out, after our course. I don't know if you're going to meditate the shit out of your life. Like, I don't know those things. So we've built a course to where you get to feel and figure out what will work within your life, not mine, yours, including and having in mind your own individual nervous system. We help you understand your own nervous system, and then you get to decide how to support your own nervous system. We give you tons of tips and tricks and tools and all the different things. But one of the homeworks, which is the one and only required homework, no, you're not getting a pass fail, but you know what I mean. Please do it, right? To feel what you're feeling and make use of the time with us, is a 3-hour homework where you have to do something for yourself. Yeah. I talk about threes a lot. Three, like go 3 minutes, 3 hours, 3 weeks, 3 days, like all the 3 days, all the different things. Yeah. In 3 hours, I can help make the point of how long it may take you to regulate or start to down regulate your brain. First hour for my clients is usually, and I explain it to them so that they can be like, okay, did I feel that? How did that go? Like, what is this? What did this feel like? Was she right? Like, what did it feel like to go back to, back into the chaos, all the different things. First hour is usually like a running to-do list of like the chaos that you're still living in from the chaos that you just left, right? If you go take 3 hours for yourself and step away from the chaos of life. The second hour, it really honestly is like wildly uncomfortable. You're like, what the fuck do I do with myself? I don't know what to do with myself. Like, like how, like, okay, well, I guess I'll do XYZ. And you may have booked things too. So like, let's say the first hour, I would do this all the time. So the first hour I would go work out. I would get I'd move through those anxious energy emotions. I would expend all that extra energy, kind of like I'm talking about chewing gum, right? Like I would expend the emotional energy that I needed. Then a lot of times I'd go take a walk around the lake, or I'd go paddleboarding on the lake, something like that, where I'd start slowing my brain down. Third hour, I would literally just rest somewhere, or sit down, or dance in the park, or look up at the sky, or like, and that third hour, I was totally out of my chaos brain and I was into my creative brain, and I was able to think about work and life and process all these emotions that maybe I wasn't processing yet, or move through, or push myself that much farther in my growth process. And I have my clients do this because I want them to feel the power of time, the shift. If they're going on vacations and they tell me they're going on vacations, I say, I want you to check in with day 1, day 2, day 3. How did it feel? Right? Day 1, you might be in the red. Day 3, you might be in the green. But it takes time. And all along the way, they're having support from us in voice messaging, and we're supporting them through that transition and that discomfort and all the different things. But the power of being able to feel the difference between red and green is absolutely life-changing, completely life-changing. Now, can you shift in a moment from when you're snapping at your kids to, okay, I got to take a breath? Yes, you can do that in a 3-minute window. Yes, you can. But to completely regulate yourself from a red zone to a green zone in 5 minutes is complete bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit. And I stand by that. A lot of us use the terms heal your nervous system or heal your brain. We're not healing it. Like there wasn't a cut or a Band-Aid on it, right? We're just expanding it and expanding the growth, and rewiring is a better term. And that takes so much time. You've got to be ready to embark on that time. But if you choose to do this alone, this will take longer. It will. And so for all of you struggling and listening to this, I urge you to figure out what it would look like to gain support for yourself. Now hello. I know what you're thinking right now. You're like, oh yeah, like my partner really needs this. And okay, like they can't do it alone. I'm going to send them this podcast so that they know that, Dr. Speed says that you can't do it alone and they need help. Like zone in, step into you. Because if your partner needs support, you probably do too. And that's okay. Yeah, still send it to your partner. Hi, partner. So glad you're here. But this takes time and the awareness of feeling what the red feels like, feeling what the yellow feels like, feeling what the green feels like. If you can then understand all these different areas of your brain and know and start tracking these feelings, you then have a better grasp on it to be able to support your brain. This weekend, I was chewing gum and I was like, wow, I haven't done that in a while. I haven't even had the craving to chew gum. Not at all. It's very similar to like the emotional eating stuff of like you munch because something's moving in your brain, right? I'm heightened. Like I think there's nothing else I can say about it. Got lots going on at work, lots of exciting stuff, got lots going on with the kids, really great stuff, but not so great stuff too. But like still, like lots going on. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it because I know. I know where my brain is at. And so I let my partner know and I was like, hey, this is where I'm at. And he's like, okay, what do you need? How can I support you? And I can feel it within myself that I'm snapping more. And so because I know that, every time I feel it boiling up, I know how to support myself in that moment because I know that it's my heightened state rather than really my truest state of how I function on a regular basis. And so you better believe that I'm going to do everything in my power to support my brain to get back down to green. The coolest part about this, though, is that I know it won't be in 3 minutes or 5 minutes. I know that it won't be tomorrow. I know that it's going to take a little bit of time. And I'm totally okay with that because I have the awareness to know that it's going to take some time and I have the tools to be able to do it. And what are those tools? They're tools that I know work for me. I'm going to reiterate one last thing before I sign off for the day. Red zone is lack of mental health. Green zone is mental health. That is why this work is so important. And we do not recognize that, right? I'm saying I'm heightened, which basically means in mental health zone, it means I'm stressed, I'm anxious, I'm stretched thin at the moment, whatever that means, right? For me, stretched thin. When I'm in the green, I'm like vibing. I'm like living life on my own terms, like enjoying, right? Like riding the wave, having the creative brain online, being able to make decisions, not craving chewing gum, Ladies, you can also track this with your menstrual cycle, checking in with how you're doing each week. Full moon's also coming too, so that could be part of it as well. So how do you go from fight or flight to rest and restoration, rest and digest, and all the different things? You take time to support you in the way that you need. You rest. You move through the yellow, which is wildly uncomfortable, and then you get back to green, and it will not happen in 5 minutes. But I promise you, if I figure out that solution of 5 minutes, I'm on it. Don't you worry. I'll share that with you. But the brain doesn't function like that. And the problem with that is because you've patterned the brain to stay in the red for so long. That's why it takes time. So do yourself a favor. Check in. See how you're feeling for the day. Are you picking your skin? Are you chewing your nails? Are you biting your nails? Are you emotionally eating? Are you snapping at your kids? Are you completely disconnected from your partnership? Like, what are the things for you that are demonstrating to you that you may be in the red? Do a body scan. Are my shoulders raised? Is my jaw clenched? Is my forehead lifted? Do I have a headache? Does it feel tight in my chest? Do my hips hurt from sitting in this chair all day? Is my back aching? Like, where are you feeling it in your body? And then go give yourself those 3 hours because you're so damn worth it. And until next time, XOXO, Dr. B.